Okay. This is something about debunking feminism, in a sense. It's a relationship segment here. Feminism is a fleshy thing. Um, they allow their emotions to run rampant, and stuff like that. And I'm like, you guys need to get in the Word of the Lord more. You need to read the Bible and not let your flesh rule. I was reading about 2 hours of Proverbs, making notes here and there and stuff and segments I can do later on. No, and just thinking about that stuff, how much people later on they allow their flesh to rule them. It's like they have validation issues. They want to be fleshy. They want to be not grown up. They talk, women out there will condemn men for their emotions, and yet they'll sit there and justify theirs if it's okay. It's like I've noticed that. I've seen a lot of segments from TikTok to Facebook, here and there, left and right. A lot of feminisms. You got to do this, you got to do that, or he's got to do this, or you lost this kind of thing, or that. And it's like, good Lord, you people are just. It's like you got the whole. It's like the same thing from the '90s. It's nothing new. It's like they all have issues, and it's like I look at the 1950s and 60s, and people got to know each other, man. I mean, good Lord, there wasn't some feminism, man. It was, women in World War II were working in factories. And they didn't allow their emotions to control them, and them women were working with bombs. Talk about high anxiety. Gee whiz, one mistake and you're blown to smithereens. It's just, this generation nowadays has got issues with validation. They have to be validated. And then it feels like the guys, who want to be near a woman who's got so much emotional issues, I've noticed that I wouldn't want to be near that stress pill. Yeah, I like her, but if she's going to bring stress and trouble, it's like, who's going to be near that? No guy will. There's a lot of women out there, and it's just like it's like they got emotional issues. It's like, gee whiz, it's like you girls got to grow up. For God's sakes, I've grown up. I'm more mature. Heck, man, I'm better than I was ever before, And I have problems in motion, but I still control them. I don't let them rule me. You need to get in the Word of the Lord more. You need to read the Bible. Godly women, have faith in the Lord, do those things, Don't let your emotions rule you, have faith in the Lord. Let Him, lead, guide, and direct. Let Him help you through those situations, I've seen that a lot with women, dating sites or TikTok, Facebook. It's like, it's so many. There's so many, it's just like, good Lord. Like I said, in the 60s, 50s, 70s, people used to got to know each other, didn't have this emotional womanizing crap or, I'm effeminate, or a guy having to be some masculine jackass, Seems like that's a big issue with everybody having problems emotionally. And it's like, God, it's annoying. I've seen quite a bit of it for a while. And I was thinking, Martha, she was in the flesh, cumbered about much worry and all that. And Jesus said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things, fleshy, worry, and all that kind of thing. But one thing is needed, that Mary had chosen that good thing, which shall not be taken away from her part, because she listened at the Lord's feet. And I'm like, women need to do that more. Listen to the Bible and read it more. You need to take every, a day, or an hour just to read one chapter or two, Not if you don't understand everything. Hey, at least you're trying. You need to stop letting this flesh rule you, because it's just like, good Lord, you think it's bad now, but if you women out there that don't have kids and all that stuff, you think it's bad now, but if you can't control your feelings now, wait till you have kids. When those kids go off to school, you're going to be more anxiety than everything. Because that's a part of a woman. When their kids go off, they lose that attachment, and that brings anxiety to their lives. They have to, wait and be patient. If you can't control them, you got to grow now. If you can't grow, how will you be able to? If you're unable to handle the least of your own things in your own life and your body, and now when you don't have kids, how will you be able to handle the other things that the Lord gives you? Think of that one. And kids are, can be a blessing of the Lord depending on how people go about it. the whole subject on that. But I've just noticed that for a while, and I just thought, good Lord, you need to read the Word, Lord. You need to get in that and read that Bible and study that and just listen. Stop letting the worries of the flesh and all that stuff get to you. Because I'm going to do another segment about stuff here, I got Bible verses that are coming. I'm going to put them out there. Join the Word of the Lord, And that's part of relationships. Growing in faith and hope in the Lord is a good thing. All things are possible. You stop letting the flesh rule and start governing yourself, I don't want to be hard on all you women or anybody out there, but I've noticed that for about at least quite a while now. And it's like, man, it's just every time I go to TikTok, you get emotional. Man needs to do this, or a woman lost this. It's like, good Lord. It's like everybody's got an opinion, for goodness sakes. Never like the 1960s and 50s and 70s. People got to know each other. They liked each other, got to know each other. As hard as that is for me, the way that I like, but I'll be honest, Man, it was just, and you didn't have the internet and all this other crap, too. The internet's great and all. The information aids are a wonderful thing, but it's just like, whatever happened to relaxing, enjoying each other's company, watching a good movie or, something like that. Playing games, sure, be great. I play video games. I like video games. Usually people, women I like, though, it feels like they'll look down on my type, for playing video games or, being a Christian or, a son of a pastor, it's not something to talk too much about. But hey, I got that and I'm a country boy. Got two things going for me. But, it's just like, hey, come on, I just thought I'd make that, everybody needs, you need to get to know one another. Women need to learn to control emotions and all that stuff. I've noticed on TikTok, Facebook, and a lot of other sites, they'll be happy one day and then sad and just, come on, what's with you, I know the estrogen's a part of a woman and that can drive up and down like electricity. Feel happy one day and then they'll want to cry the next or something, I understand that, but come on. It's not easy being a guy, trust me. It's not, really, it's not. We're always the one that had to bear the burden, and no woman that we like ever cares for us. Feel like we're always afraid to tell things because we're always afraid to get hit in the face or smacked, really, or just bruised more. That's why guys usually hold the feelings and just don't want to let it out, because it's why. You'll just hurt me again. Why tell you anything? You'll just hurt me again. That's the thing, I've noticed, People need to just get to know one another. Women need to control their flesh more. All this feminine stuff and all that stuff I've heard for the past while now on Facebook and TikTok. So many others. There's so many, But I think that's the problem, That's the real issue. Some people won't want to get rid of that, maybe. I don't know. It's just like, good Lord, If you're being a Christian woman, you gotta learn to control your emotions. Be a godly woman of faith and hope. Deborah was, Sarah. Mary, she chose to listen at the Lord's feet, and so forth, Sapphira, or not Sapphira, I'm sorry, Priscilla and Aquila, or Priscilla, really, in a sense. Sapphira was bad, just to let you know. She and her husband Judas lied and they lost their lives. So, FYI, But, come on, I just thought I'd let you guys know this and put this out there, because it's just like, I've seen quite a bit. It's like, good Lord. I spent 2 hours reading the Bible, putting verses together, making stuff. I'm going to do more because I'm enjoying it. But, I just hope you guys listen and learn and grow in faith and wisdom of the Lord. And that's the best thing you can do in life, instead of let your emotions rule. And you're just, because no guy's going to want to date a woman who has emotional issues. And I know no women want to date with a guy who has emotional issues. I'm the lonely one. So sad. But I just thought I'd let you guys know that and put that out there. If you guys like it, hey, thanks, subscribe. Appreciate it. Thank you. God bless it. Have a good night.